The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili met with Ishikusa Hideki, Japan's newly appointed ambassador to Georgia. At the introductory meeting, the head of government congratulated the Japanese ambassador on the beginning of his diplomatic mission and wished him success in his future endeavors. The conversation focused on the cooperation between the two countries across a variety of directions, including prospects of deeper cooperation toward attracting investments, encouraging export, and developing small and medium-sized businesses. Acting President of the National Bank of Georgia NBG, Natia Turnava, on Wednesday hosted IFC Regional Manager in the South Caucasus, Ivana Fernandez Duarte, discussing issues of bilateral cooperation. According to the NBG press office, with the IFC support, the National Bank kicked off developing a sustainable finance framework and published the Sustainable Finance Roadmap for Georgia in April 2019. The National Bank of Georgia has close cooperation with the International Financial Corporation by a number of joint successful projects. In a bid to develop open banking, we have established the groundwork for another project, a technical sandbox. IFC's support is paramount for us and we will continue fruitful cooperation in the future, Turnava remarked. The number of beneficiaries receiving subsistence allowance increased by 1.2% or 8,000 in May. As of recent data, 668,555 citizens were registered in the list of beneficiaries receiving subsistence allowance, which was 18% of the Georgian population. 39,893 families are included in the state program of public employment. This program ensures to maintain the status of socially vulnerable for 4 years. In May 2023, the state spent a total of around 58 million lari on the allowance. It should be noted that in March of this year, the number of beneficiaries receiving subsistence allowance hit a record high and reached around 677,000. Georgia and Moldova on Tuesday signed memorandums on cooperation in economic, technical and scientific fields and on boosting investment and export opportunities between the countries as part of the second session of the Joint Intergovernmental Commission on Economic Cooperation. Hosted in Chisinau, the meeting saw talks on a number of important areas of the trade and economic sphere, including ties in economy, trade, agriculture, infrastructure, transport, energy, communications, technology, culture and tourism, the Georgian Economy Ministry said. At this meeting, during the sessions, Minister Levan Davitashvili emphasized the common foreign and political aspiration of the two countries to join the European Union. I hope our countries will soon join the European family. Today's meeting deepened our friendship and created new opportunities for future cooperation, Davitashvili said. The first session of the Joint Intergovernmental Commission on Economic Cooperation was held in the Georgian capital city of Tbilisi in 2017. The next meeting will also be held in Tbilisi, the ministry said. This is The Checkpoints. I'm Elena Gvanchilashvili, author and the host of the show, and the Checkpoints team is ready to sum up Business and Economics Week for you. The prosecutor's office accused Georgi Bachiashvili, the former head of the co-investment fund, of misappropriation of a large amount of cryptocurrency and legalizing illegal income, embezzled Bitcoin worth USD 39 million. According to the agency, the accused carried out possession and use of appropriated assets, transfer, conversion, purchase of immovable and movable property, as well as the purchase, possession of various properties and assets through enterprise entities and other actions by which he legalized illegally appropriated cryptocurrency and a particularly large amount of funds obtained as a result of its disposal. The Georgian Co-Investment Fund provides investors with exposure to the fast-growing sector sectors of the Georgian economy. It utilizes a private equity structure designed to cater investors' diverse needs. Established in 2013, the fund considers investment opportunities across sectors and industries which significantly contribute to the development of the Georgian economy, including, and the fund is currently managing assets in excess of US $2 billion. The sole investor of the fund is Bidzina Ivanishvili. It found guilty Bachiashvili could face a prison sentence from 9 to 12 years. Following the announcement by the Prosecutor's Office of Georgia of the filing of criminal charges against entrepreneur George Bachiashvili for alleged misappropriation of cryptocurrency and legalization of illegal income, Mr. Bachiashvili's legal team at Amsterdam and Partners LLP denounced the frivolous nature of the case. Our firm is privileged to act as international counsel to Mr. Bachiashvili, and we intend to act aggressively to assert his rights and innocence before these absurd politically motivated charges, said Robert Amsterdam, founding partner of Amsterdam and Partners LLP. It is our clear understanding that the origin of these charges is not rooted in any factual findings or serious investigation, but instead the charges appear to be the result of a weaponized prosecution. Amsterdam continued, George Bachiashvili is an incredibly accomplished entrepreneur of impeccable reputation who is now being targeted for his political beliefs, with the state apparatus being abused as an instrument of theft. These charges are an embarrassment to the country, and we intend to vindicate our client through all available measures, both domestically with our co-counsel in Georgia and internationally. George Bachiashvili is a venture capitalist and investor who has founded and backed numerous startups in tech, fintech, blockchain, and other innovative industries. In 2014, he founded Mission Gate, a venture capital firm investing globally in angel and A and B stage projects, and previously founded the Georgian Co-Investment Fund, the largest private equity fund based in Georgia, investing in energy, hospitality, agriculture, and manufacturing. He has served as the chairman of the supervisory board of the Georgian Stock Exchange since 2014 and served in a variety of positions previously with Booz & Co, Abu Dhabi Group, and the Bank of Georgia. Amsterdam and Partners LLP is an international law firm with offices in London and Washington, D.C. Our reporter Natia Taktakishvili will continue with what was new in business this week.
Georgian leading shopping mall Galleria Tbilisi announces that the shopping mall has recently added such premium brands as Pinko, Paul Zilleri, Patricia Pepe, DKNY, Furla, Karl Lagerfeld, Elisabetta Franchi, Scotch & Soda, and Diesel Georgia. According to the management of the company, Galleria Tbilisi still continues to work on the introduction of another brands which are not yet represented on the Georgian market. Shopping mall unites over 140 international and local brands at this stage. Galleria Tbilisi was opened by Bidzina Ivanishvili's co-investment fund in November 2017 on Rustaveli Avenue in Tbilisi. The total investment of the project amounts to $97 million USD. High-class residential and leisure complex Dreamland Oasis Chakwi, located 9 kilometers away from the city of Batumi, meets this season with 12 completed buildings and well-arranged infrastructure. Dreamland Oasis Chakwi includes 885 private apartments and more than 50 different facilities. At this stage, 585 apartments have been finished, while 300 apartments are under construction. Per square meter price for the renovated apartments start from $1,997 USD. The minimum living space totals to 52 square meter and goes up to 75 square meter. Dreamland Oasis Chakwi offers customers a studio with kitchen as well as apartments with 1 or 2 bedrooms. The complex is located on the land area of 10 hectares, which has 4 outdoor pools, a modern aqua park, a variety of bars, restaurants, and children's entertainment spaces. The load of the hotel's catering facility and co-working space of Achara Group increased significantly after the end of the pandemic. Executive Director of Achara Group, Nino Quernadze, talked with BM GTV about the success of Stamba, Fabrica, Holiday Inn and Lolita. According to her, Stamba is not only a hotel and catering facility, but it also has a multifunctional space, which is very popular among guests. As she notes, Stamba has become a favorite place for both local and international guests since its opening. The number of guests is constantly increasing. Within 5 years, we reached a record number and exceeded the pre-pandemic rates. However, Stamba is not only a hotel and restaurant. Stamba is a destination where the first vertical farming was arranged in Georgia, Nino Guernadze said. According to the representative of Achara Group, Fabrica changed the whole district, which is frequently visited by a lot of young foreign visitors. Holiday Inn hosts all types of guests, local, tourists, business travelers, and the occupancy rate is high. As for Lolita, it has many loyal guests since its opening, and we are busy here in any season. Lolita has become a favorite place for our customers in Tbilisi, Guernadze noted. The Georgian brand of handmade cosmetics, tea and candles, Usuli, is expanding its activity in the direction of the hospitality sector. The company will open a tourist facility in Racha, namely in Ambrolauri, with an investment of 60,000 lari. The co-founder of Usuli, Nani Kobakhidze, says that tourists will be able to book the cottage within a week. The real space of Usuli cottage amounts to 50 square meters and has a yard of 3,000 square meters. The cost of staying in a cottage ranges from 250 lari to 320 lari. The price includes breakfast as well. Usuli brand appeared on the Georgian market in 2020 and initially offered customers only natural self-care products. About 10 people are employed in the company, and after opening cottage, Usuli will add a housekeeper and a cook at the first stage. Tegeta Construction Equipment, a subsidiary of Tegeta Holding, opened a large-scale GCB dealership in the Caucasus region in the capital city of Armenia. Tegeta Construction Equipment represents the British brand on the Armenian market since 2019 and supplies special construction equipment. Tegeta Construction Equipment started the construction of a new complex in Yerevan a year ago. The new large-scale dealership was built in full compliance with Tegeta and GCB standards, and more than $1 million was invested in it. It covers 1,000 square meters and includes showrooms, service center, warehouse space and office space. We are glad that we were given the opportunity to open a new high-class service complex in the region together with our strategic partner GCB, which will allow us to offer our customers an even higher level of service on the Armenian market, Georgi Beridze, director of Tegeta Construction Equipment, said. According to Beridze, Tegeta Construction Equipment is one of the strongest players in the Armenian market, and the company sold 70 units of equipment in 2021, while in 2022 the sales figure approached 140 units. This year, the company predicts to sell 200 units of equipment in Armenia. Tegeta Construction Equipment, a subsidiary of Tegeta Holding, has been operating on the market since 2007. The construction and development company Alliance Group announces an investment project worth $112 million in Kobulati. According to the company, the new project, Alliance Renaissance, is a recreational complex that will combine sports, recreation, and investment direction. According to the company, a 40-story complex connects A, B, and C towers with a common podium, which will have international brand sports and wellness center. As the company told BMWG, the construction of the multifunctional complex Alliance Renaissance in Kobuleti on Armashenebeli Avenue has started this year, and the construction of 3 towers will be implemented gradually. Multifunctional complex Rustavi Mall and Apart Hotel will be opened by the spring of 2024 in Rustavi. The investment value amounts to $50 million. Gugat Sanava, co-founder of the investor company New Mall, told BMWG. According to him, the multifunctional complex will combine both an apart hotel and shopping center. Gugat Sanava declares that Rustavi Mall will be different from other shopping malls located in Rustavi, as a bowling center and Kavya cinema will be put into operation there. Rustavi shopping mall will be smaller compared to Tbilisi malls. The construction is completed and renovation work works are underway. Negotiations are also underway with brands and an agreement has already reached with 70%. We have agreed with Kavea there will also be bowling. We will bring such details that will be noticed for Rustavi population, said Guga Tsanava. Hotel Nordman was opened in Racha tourist facility. Nordman is ready to receive its first guest in Racha. Khatia Margveladze, the representative of the hotel, told BMWG and noted that they already have reservations for the coming weeks. Nordman has 8 rooms, including 1 suite. The hotel can accommodate a total of 15 guests. As Margveladze says, the price of the current season have already been determined. The price of an ordinary room starts from 150 lari this season, while the deluxe room price reaches 250 lari. The cost includes breakfast as well, says Khatia Margveladze. As for the future plans of the hotel, according to Margveladze, it's planned to arrange a swimming pool and improve the internal space.
Georgia's leading investment bank TBC Capital prepared an overview regarding Georgia's health sector, which is currently under the cascade of reforms. According to TBC Capital, healthcare is a growing and rapidly developing sector in Georgia. From 2013 to 2022, the output of the healthcare sector exhibited a consistent upward trend. Preliminary data for 2022 shows that the sector's output reached 2.4 billion lari, which is 2.6 times higher than the corresponding indicator in 2013. Throughout this period, the sector achieved a compound annual growth rate CAGR of 10%. The Georgian healthcare sector is well diversified in terms of number of participants and their market share, leading to high levels of competition. Financially, the health sector has shown positive performance, with total revenue increasing from 1.2 billion lari in 2018 to 1.8 billion lari in 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic had a significant impact on clinic revenues and expenses in 2020, putting pressure on revenues and costs and pushed down NI margin to as low as 3%. However, in 2021, with the increase in funding for the management of the pandemic, the EBITDA margin in the healthcare sector increased to 25% and the profit margin increased to 17%. Healthcare expenditure in Georgia experienced a consistent increase from 2013 to 2022. In 2022, total healthcare expenditure amounted to 4.1 billion lari, a 72% increase compared to 2013. The pandemic contributed to higher healthcare costs in 2020 and 2021, but with the end of the pandemic in 2022, COVID-19 related expenses decreased compared to the previous year. With the expansion of the state's universal healthcare program from 2013 to 2022, the share of out-of-pocket costs in total healthcare expenditure decreased from 65% to 43%. Additionally, the share of private health insurance in total expenditure decreased from 14% to 7%, while the corresponding share of public expenditure increased from 20% to 50%. The largest share of government healthcare spending, on average 57%, is allocated to the universal health insurance program. The government of Georgia also implements targeted programs, with organ transplantation, bone marrow and liver transplantation being added in 2022, offering future development prospects. The demand for healthcare services is influenced by the population size, which has been declining over the past decade. However, in 2022, the influx of migrants to Georgia increased due to the Russia-Ukraine war. Despite this, emigration of the young population and the decline in birth rates continue to have a negative impact on the demand for healthcare services. As for the supply side, from 2013 to 2021, the number of healthcare service providers and beds in Georgia increased. However, the average bed occupancy rate remained low at 50%, indicating inefficient utilization of resources. Although the number of medical personnel also increased during this period, the nurse-doctor ratio in Georgia is low, 0.98, suggesting potential strain on nursing resources and potential negative effects on patient treatment and monitoring. TBC Capital identified some of the future developments for the sector, including hospital mergers, market competition, and recent or planned regulations present opportunities for consolidation. Through the consolidation of resources and services, hospitals can achieve cost reduction and enhance operational efficiency. Partnerships with universities. Collaborating with universities through equity participation enables clinics to access a skilled workforce and explore development prospects while simultaneously providing students with valuable practical experience opportunities. Development of medical tourism. Georgia has a potential to foster medical tourism and attract patients from neighboring countries, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, etc., and the Persian Gulf countries. Areas with high growth potential. The healthcare sector in Georgia holds great promise in several areas, including organ transplantation, stroke management, and post-operative rehabilitation. Additionally, there is significant potential for growth in plastic surgery, dentistry, hair transplantation, and aesthetic medicine, which are not covered by the DRG system. Meanwhile, in June 2023, the consumer price index decreased by 0.7% compared to the previous month, while the annual inflation rate amounted to 0.6%. With regard to the annual core inflation, the prices increased by 4.1%, while the annual core inflation without tobacco amounted to 4%. The monthly inflation rate was mainly influenced by price changes for the following groups. Food and non-alcoholic beverages, the prices for the group decreased by 3.2%. The prices decreased for the following subgroups: vegetables, oils and fats, bread and cereals, milk, cheese and eggs, meat. At the same time, prices increased for fish. Transport, the prices for the group increased by 1.5%. Within the group, the prices increased for the following subgroups: operation of personal transport equipment and transport services, housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels. The prices for the group posted a 0.8% increase. The prices were higher for the following subgroups: maintenance and repair of the dwelling and actual rentals for housing. As for the annual inflation, its rate was mainly influenced by price changes for the following groups: miscellaneous goods and services, the prices for the group increased by around 18%. Within the group, the prices were higher for the following subgroups: financial services, personal care, other services, alcoholic beverages and tobacco. The prices here increased by 7.4%. Within the group, the prices were higher for both alcoholic beverages and tobacco. Transport, the prices for the group decreased by around 12%. Within the group, the prices decreased for the following subgroups: operation of personal transport equipment, purchase of vehicles. At the same time, prices increased for transport services. Health, the prices for the group decreased by around 7%. Within the group, the prices were lower for medical products, appliances and equipment. At the same time, prices increased for outpatient services and hospital services. The estimated real gross domestic product GDP growth rate amounted to 7% for May 2023 year-over-year, and the average real GDP growth for January-May 2023 equaled 7.5%. In May 2023, compared to the same period of the previous year, the estimated real growth in following activities contributed significantly: construction, information and communication, trade, transportation and storage, financial and insurance activities. Declines were registered in manufacturing and real estate activities. Some more weekly news and outlook from the checkpoints.
Georgia has defined its European integration path since the very first years of its independence. We are following the path carefully and with diligence, said Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili at the opening of APF. According to the Prime Minister, Georgia is expecting a decision from the European Commission on EU candidate status. We are ready to implement all the recommendations, and we hope our efforts will be recognized and Georgia will soon join the European family. Furthermore, there are only a few nations in the world that can be proud of the reforms that have made Georgia succeed in the battle against corruption, transparency of budget, elimination of bureaucracy and business support. We have made our country's fiscal policy one of the most appealing in the world. Georgia will be a reliable and valuable partner in your assembly, contributing to the vast building of world peace and security, Irakli Garibashvili stated. The Ministry of Regional Development and Infrastructure of Georgia reports that the agency fulfilled its budget for 6 months 2023 with an excess of 13.5%. The expenditures of the ministry amounted to 1.33 billion lari, which was 187 million lari more compared to the plan. The ministry spent 205 50 million lari more financial resources on the development of infrastructure projects than the previous year, which was the highest six-month performance rate in the history of ministry's existence. The agencies under the management of ministry also exceeded the plan for 6 months of 2023 and supported development of infrastructure projects throughout the country. Roads Department 150% of the plan, the Municipal Development Fund of the state of Georgia 105% of the plan, United Water Supply Company of Georgia 170% of the plan, Solid Waste Management Company 121% of the plan. The data published by the agency reads: According to the Ministry of Energy of Azerbaijan, 1.2 million cubic meter of natural gas was exported to Georgia in 5 months. This was a decrease of 100 million cubic meters compared to the corresponding period of the last year. In 5 months of the current year, Georgia exported natural gas worth $259 million USD. The annual increase was 20.5%. According to Geostat, in January-May, Georgia bought 77.4 million USD worth of natural gas from Russia. The annual increase was 136%. Unlike Russia, the price of gas imported from Azerbaijan has been slightly reduced. During the reporting period, the country bought gas worth almost 182 million USD compared to the last year. This was 0.3% decrease. The Federal Air Transport Agency of Russia has given permission for 284 weekly flights between the cities of Russia and Georgia. According to the agency, the government of Georgia has not yet issued permission for new flights. The Russian agency issued most of the permits to the airline Red Wings. Airlines have not yet commented on the decision of the Russian agency. For information, currently direct flights between Georgia and Russia are operated by Azimut Airlines. From July 5 to daily flights between Moscow and Tbilisi, and Georgian Airlines performs 10 weekly flights between Moscow and Tbilisi from July. In the coming days, Red Wings will operate Sochi, Tbilisi, Sochi and Moscow, Kutaisi, Moscow flights. We, like all other companies, are obliged to comply with the decisions made by the government of Georgia. Adding Georgian Airways to the list of those sanctioned by Ukraine is absurd and unfair, Tamas Gayashvili, head of flight service of Georgian Airways, says in a statement. According to him, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was misled. I would also like to express my concern that this decision has a political content. Airlines of Turkey, Arab states, Israel, Armenia, Azerbaijan, all Asia and Central Asia operate flights to Russia. They perform hundreds of flights, but they can't dare to sanction them. I hope that this unjust and groundless decision of President of Ukraine will be followed by an immediate and mirror response of Georgian government, Tamas Gayashvili announced. For information, according to the decree of President of Ukraine Vladimir Zelensky, the Georgian Airlines, Georgian Airways, which restored direct flights with the Russian Federation, has been sanctioned. Irakli Garibashvili, Prime Minister of Georgia, met Matteo Patrones, Managing Director of European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, on Wednesday, who introduced Alkis Virinius Drakinos as a regional Director of EBRD for the Caucasus. Meeting was attended by Katerina Briolin Hansen, current Regional Director of EBRD, who is completing her term on August 30, 2023. Alkis Virinius Drakinos is due to resume his duties in Tbilisi from September 1, 2023. Meeting held with the government administration was focused on the review of main directions of cooperation between Georgia and EBRD, along with the discussion of projects. The Prime Minister of Georgia highlighted the significance of support demonstrated by EBRD in financing the strategic directions of country's economy. According to Irakli Garibashvili, Georgia is a nation of European aspiration on its European road of economic transformation, and the role of EBRD is vital in this process. It was noted that EBRD has so far invested almost 5 billion euros in Georgia through 286 projects. The first stage of registration at Tbilisi public kindergartens will kick off on July 10. As Tbilisi Mayor Kakakaladze announced at the municipal government meeting, registration will be possible online at the website www.kids.org.g and will proceed in 3 stages. Socially vulnerable kids, children with special education needs, beneficiary of orphanages, children of single-parent of soldiers, and kids of public kindergarten employees will undergo registration at the first stage, followed by registration of children from across Tbilisi municipality territory. The second stage of registration will begin on July 17, while the third on July 25.
And that's all for today. Follow us on BM.G. Until we meet again.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.